What's up, everybody? Welcome to the CanesInSight Daily Podcast powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. It was a somber weekend, a lot of very sad podcasts on Saturday and Sunday. I feel like I've done a million, man. It's been it's been tough, but therapeutic, I hope, for those listening. And we'll keep it going, man, although slowly start to shift focus to Syracuse and trying to get this thing back on track because Lord knows these November losses historically tend to come in bunches. So as kind of demoralized as we are with the possibility that we're out of the playoffs and, the season, another flop, it could get even worse. So you hope to turn this thing around and get this thing rolling. So we'll slowly shift focus to Syracuse, but we'll also be talking just big picture stuff. We got 50 from Category 6, one of my favorite guests and one of the really cool voices in the Canes community. We'll get to him. First, some folks that there's no November swoon. That's Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. If you or someone you care about has been injured in an accident, you could be entitled to significant compensation. Dial 1-800-747 free, 1-800-747-3733. Take back control of your life with Anajar and Levine. 50, hop in here.
Man, what's good? What's good, D-Money? What's good?
Struggling, man. Struggling. I was just talking to Pete. Pete's coming. He's on a plane right now. Trying to shift focus to basketball a little bit, but it's hard, man. I'm still thinking about all the things that went wrong in this game and just kind of overall, man, because, look, this game was what it was, but it wasn't like a one-off kind of deal. Felt like the stuff you saw in this loss was something you saw over really the course of the year, and in some cases over Mario Cristobal's entire coaching career, right? So what are you seeing from this loss that has you thinking big picture?
Big picture wise, if the philosophy don't change, it's over for Mario. Hands down. It's over for Mario. That 3 yards in the cloud of dust offense ain't gonna ever work here. It's just not. It's just not. You tried it with Gaddis, then you went to Dawson, you let Dawson do his thing, but then we started trying to slow it down because we don't believe in the quarterback. It just don't work this way. We gotta run tempo. We gotta have that type of offense. We must have an explosive offense. That's just what it is. We come from a city with a bunch of explosive players. When you think about it, some of our best teams, you know what I'm saying, they had explosive offenses. Like we need that. Definitely with the defense that we have, you gotta have explosive offense. Like I look around and I'm just like, yeah, we can say what we want about Dawson, but hey, he had explosive offenses with Cam Ward in this. This got to be Mario look in the mirror. Hey, let people do their thing, because that's just what it is. Like we must all that ground and pound. Yeah, it's cool when the game is like, you know what I'm saying, when you gotta just close a game and you just trying to kill the clock, but we can't do that for a whole game because you keep teams in the game. You keep teams thinking they got a chance. So hands down, philosophy change or it's over for Mario. Just hands down. I'm just being honest.
Yeah, look, I pulled up the stat before on these shows, but I want to just roll through it again because I think it's important to look at. So this is explosive plays basically by yards. So starts with 10-yard plays, 20-yard plays, 30-yard plays, and this is Miami's national rank. So 10-yard plays, you're looking at 69th in the country. Flip it to 20, 100th in the country. Flip it to 30 plus, 88th in the country. Flip it to 40, 98th in the country, and then flip it to 50th, 107th in the country. So that's going to be a story here. I've been talking to a lot of people, 50, just outside of the Canes, right? Guys that are professional football people, whether NFL or college, like they're not media, they're not fans. These are people that their football is their job. And the more I talk to these people, and then the more just watching the film and kind of seeing this team over the course of the year, if I had to whittle it down, we are a team that plays for down and distance and ball control, and we're also one of the most undisciplined teams in America.
Yeah.
So you combine those two things, and you got a problem. Because if you're really good at the first part, we're controlling down and distance, all that, and you're very disciplined. You're like Iowa, let's say, as an example. You could win games in that fashion, especially when you have good players and a good defense. And same thing, if you're really explosive, and maybe you're not the most disciplined team, you can get away with it a little bit.
Yeah.
But when you're both of those things, that to me is the crux of the issue with this Miami Hurricanes team, and why we've lost to teams that can dial up plays with great offensive coordinators in these close games to get it done.
Yeah. And you know what I'm saying? In-game coaching. Why is you calling a timeout at 4th and 9 when they don't got no timeouts? Like, what is we doing? You got my boy Lightfoot looking crazy. I don't like that. No discipline. Then you calling a timeout. They don't got it at 4th and 9. They're trying to get in the field goal range. They don't have a timeout. Don't do it. So you got to be smarter too. He said no excuses. That's what he said. So I ain't giving him no excuses. He got to lock in, fix it, or it's over for you. That's just what it is. He must fix it. He know he got to do that.
Yeah, I really do think, we've had coaches that have done these press conferences, and it's hard to do a press conference after a loss because you lost, right? What are you going to say?
Right.
It's going to make people feel good. I think he is honestly a less excuse kind of guy. So to me, I just go by the results, and that's all you could really just kind of go off, right? Forget what he's talking about. How does this team improve over the course of the year? With the penalties, it hasn't improved over the course of the year. In fact, it's gotten worse. And really, you look at Notre Dame and Florida, we had some penalties in those games, but we were certainly more disciplined than we've been in the last couple losses. And I think that is a big reason why we were able to beat those teams, which to me are more talented than the last two teams we lost to. But that's the difference. 954 says, why is Mario so stubborn? Can't make adjustments halfway through the season. I don't know. Look, I really don't think he's that stubborn in a lot of ways, because he's not like a coordinator. So to me, the most stubborn guys are those coordinators, because that's like, this is my system, right? So it's hard to change that. Whereas Mario is more CEO. We've seen him change style of offense. We've seen him change style of defense. I think he is a little bit stubborn.
Back to that old offense. I ain't feeling that though.
Well, let's talk about one area where I think we all agree that Mario is real stubborn. And I want to get your thoughts on it. Is short yardage, right? So short yardage, we're not going to be creative. We're not going to try to hit an explosive play. We're not going to try to do anything other than just go straight up. And it's worked in the past. This year, especially in the two losses, it is not. Against SMU, when you look at the way we ran the ball against a team that's pretty good stopping the run, I thought it was okay on the whole, let me say it differently. It was okay in spots, but overall, you give it a low grade, because when you had to have 1 or 2 yards, you didn't get it. And that, to me, with this kind of running games, you ran for under 60 yards. That's not bad. But because the short yardage was so poor, when you think about the running game in this game, you're not exactly doing backflips, right? So I think that short yardage has been hurting us, and we are stubborn there. What do you see on short yardage?
I see an O-line that can't get no push when it matters. That's what I see. That's hands down. Like, every time when it matters, like you said, short yardage. And that's the thing. It's a coaching thing. Yeah, your players can be as good as they want to be, but, man, you got to know your personnel, man. You know what is about to happen. The teams know what's about to happen. So switch it up. It's just simple. Like I said, it's really no excuses. It's really like a philosophy change. Like, we got to get, like, I look at the history of the Canes because I love it. You know what I'm saying? And I go to one time. I love Jimmy Johnson. I love Howard Snellenberger. But then I look at Dennis Erickson and I think of, wow, a guy that won a lot of games because he was like an innovator at the time, right? Well, I'm tripping.
No, you're not.
Yeah. So it's like that should be more of the style we try to run, like that type of offensive style. Like, we got to be innovative. That's why I look at Charlie Weiss Jr. Like, I want that over here. Or Dawson under Cam Ward was everything, to be honest with you, because we was doing the damn thing. But you just had a quarterback that knew how to read defenses, and that was a whole nother story. I don't think Carson Beck could read the defense as good as Cam Ward did, because you remember Cam Ward, some of his fumbling problems was because what he was reading with the defense. You know what I'm saying? So they even helped him with that. But because the man just know football. But like I said, man, we need some type of offense. Mike Loxley, if that's true that he got fired, go get him. Your mentor had him. Like, you got to lock in and fix it. because this is alarming, man. This is like, I've been here before, D Money. You know what it is. Every coaching year for it that falters like this, it's over for them. Every time, it's over for them.
Yeah. The scary thing is usually we, at least last year we started on November swoon a little later, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't remember when Georgia Tech was, but this one, we when you were November was me tough. First day of November, boom, take that loss. So now you got all the rest of November to try to avoid that third loss, which, as we know, takes us to an even lower level. So it's scary, man. One thing is funny. You talk about innovation, and that's definitely true. One thing I heard just talking to people that, like, again, people that live this, right, that actually do these jobs, and they're saying, like, man, steal plays. Like, forget make up your own play. Steal them. Like, go on TV. Look at some short yardage plays that work, that catch the defense slipping and hit them with an explosive play. We know that teams have to at least – it's not like we have struggled in short yardage for a long period of time. Like, we have success in short yardage. Teams are still – as bad as our running game is, teams still respect our running game and have extra guys in the box. So,
right.
That does create the opportunity for explosive plays. I think you hit on Brockermeyer. That he's struggling a lot from a personnel standpoint, and to a lesser extent, left guard's not been as good as it should be. So those are some areas where personnel-wise, I think it's hurting us on short yardage. But let's talk explosives because, I was asking people, I'm like, man, come on, how are we less so? Like, why are we not more explosive given that we have a quarterback that can make throws, and he can. I mean, say what you want about Beck. I know the pick at the end was bad. Like, Beck is going to get drafted somewhere higher than any quarterback we've probably had besides Ward in a long time. And teams would take him, and he can make throws. You saw him in this game make some third and longs that were not easy throws.
Right.
So I asked people, why do you think we're not as explosive? And
because you're coaching not to lose instead of coaching to win. It's just that simple.
That's part of it. But one thing I heard as well was, and again, it's from outside people, right? They're like, man, you guys really are struggling with the personnel at receiver as far as having explosive receivers, aside from Malachi Tony. And we knew this, right? We talked about this. But, man, when you go back and look and you say, okay, and I know you follow recruiting, which is why I wanted to bring this up with you, is you in 2023, you signed Robbie Washington, who's all about speed, big plays. Signed Ray Joseph, all about big plays, right? 24, you signed Nikar, big play receiver, smaller guy.
Right.
JoJo Trader, that's why you got him.
Right.
And then the portal, you try to get different explosive guys. Sam Brown was supposed to be that. Elon Marion, who I think is doing a solid job, but it's not doing the explosive part of it necessarily. Right. He was supposed to be that. You missed on a couple guys that you tried to get, Zechariah Branch, Eric Singleton. We know those names. So bottom line is those misses accumulated, and we'll see if JoJo Trader ends up being a miss. We saw flashes, but right now to this point, he hasn't given us much. Those misses have accumulated and caused us to miss that explosive element outside of Tony. What do you see just in terms of like that receiving group and getting more explosive players on the field?
I just see like, we gotta know like I said, you gotta know your personnel, because I'm not gonna lie, when JoJo was cooking them DBs for like 82 yards that fast, we looked at mighty explosive, but then this is where that undisciplined stuff kick in. And this is why I say, why is the team undisciplined? It starts at the top. You got to lock in and get on these guys. Like, somebody got to check these guys. Somebody. You got to be a leader. You got to coach this team. You got to get on the referees and let them know that, hey, man, we ain't the only people that's like committing penalties. You know what I'm saying? Like, things got to change, because that is just damning. Like, but you got to do this. Like I said, this is dangerous. What was happening, D-Money? Like, there's no way to sugarcoat it. It's dangerous. It's time to either adapt or die. That's where we at now.
Yeah, I'll name that the show. I like that. I like that right there. That is the truth of the matter. Oso saying all the explosive players get no chances in this offense. The crazy part is we all know we need more speed. Yet Dawson, the personnel don't scheme for the speed guys. He has a few plays. We got another one here. Rico saying JoJo's the truth. Why do you have to prove himself? Why not give JoJo the same grace as the OL? Listen, that's a fair point. I've seen multiple people make it. The offensive line, which has been the ultimate culprit when it comes to the penalties. Not all, but most of the penalties have been on them. So,
Yes. And think about that.
Point.
And think about that, D-Money. If the O-line, Miraball's unit, played better, just way better than they have, we're undefeated. Hands down, because you commit less penalties. So drives are lasting longer. That first quarter against SMU, not gonna lie, we hockey kind of lost the game there because we were supposed to kill them. We had them.
Yeah.
Couldn't stop us. That game wound up going to overtime and them guys winning. That was terrible. That's terrible coaching, and it must get fixed. Nobody to blame but Mario, man. It is what it is.
Yeah, go ahead.
You just got to get right.
No, Buck stops with him. And, I know some people, because every time you talk about like, hey, our personnel needs to be better in this areas, people are going to be like, oh, you're blaming the players, not the coach. Let's make this clear.
Yeah.
This is year 4. So all those people I just named that are either not playing for whatever reason, you can say they should be playing more. I hope this is the JoJo spark and the rest of the year he's on fire. I think that's possible. Right. But like, the fact that all those guys didn't really pan out, and JoJo, we haven't gotten it out of him yet. Brockermeyer struggling, all that. Those guys were brought in by this staff. So don't misunderstand when I'm talking about personnel issues.
No, I wasn't talking about you.
I'm not saying you, but I'm saying like, people in the comments I'm seeing like, they're like, I just know how this goes. When every time you talk about like, hey, our personnel is not getting it done in this, they think you're taking slack off the staff. And what I'm saying is this is part of the deal. And when you're the head coach, especially you're a personnel driven head coach,
right?
You got everybody in there that you brought in. It's year 4. Mm-hmm. It all goes to the same place. So I just chat, because I know the chat gets hot whenever you talk about players like that. I'm just saying that's part of when I talk to people that are outside of this bubble. Because after that loss, I'm not going to talk so much to Canes fans. We all are kind of seeing similar things here as far as what's happened.
Mm-hmm.
There were certain things that happened I didn't expect to happen, that I was wrong about. I thought obviously Lofton would do more going into the year after what he did in spring.
Right.
Lyle would do more. I thought our offensive line against the ACC would have more of a physical advantage. So there's plenty I didn't see. But point is, I wanted to go outside to get outside opinions. And what I'm hearing from outside people is short yardage creativity is 0. They said the running game more creative than people think on a down-to-down basis, but short yardage, not at all. Yeah. Lack of explosive playmakers. Lack of, like you said, kind of just the conservative style overall. You're playing close games, then you're getting penalties on top of that. And then, in terms of like moving guys up front, center, left guard, not doing as well as we've done in other years.
Right.
And tight end, Double J talk about that. I want to talk to you about tight end in a second here, because I know you got thoughts. So tight end, Lofton, he's been a huge disappointment. Bauman, has not gotten going. I think not only were we missing Arroyo, who got a touchdown yesterday one-handed, but I think we're missing the other 2 guys who were great blockers.
Yeah.
Like, we don't even have blocking right now at tight end. So I don't know, what do you see at tight end in that position?
Yeah, that's been terrible, to be honest with you. Like, I don't even know what's going on there. Like, I ain't never seen tight ends this bad. Ever. I mean, this like one thing, even in our worst times, we had tight ends. So that's another. It just like I said, we got to have a philosophy change, man. It got to happen, man. The way college football is, you got to put points on the board. You got to be killers. That conservative style is like the old Cowboys of the Wild Wild West. It's about to get extinct. It's over. Get with the times. That's where we at now. That's where we at. You just got to get with the times.
Yeah, you heard Saban talking about that too on College Game Day, some of the adaptation he did. And like, to me, one thing I've always said on this show, and maybe I was wrong, but I don't think this part I was wrong, when I said you got to be a physical running game to win still. That has not changed in college football.
At all.
Now, you don't have to give up other stuff to be a physical running game. And I'd point to last year where we were as physical as any running game in America, period.
Right.
But we also were explosive as well. Cam
Right.
Ward was part of that. He's the first overall pick. You don't always have the first overall pick, but
Yep.
you know, it was a good fit overall. Like he benefited from it as well, as we've seen on the other teams he's been on. They have not put up a great offensive stat. So it's a whole deal. It's frustrating, man. I mean, you talk about the philosophy change.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, what? Let's
when I say philosophy change, because I'm talking about this conservative. Like, no, we got to kill teams. Like,
yep.
Even in the Notre Dame game, it was a point where we let off the gas. Like, they kind of got back in there. We could have killed them. Florida, we could have killed them. Florida State, come on, man. You see where I'm going here. Like, we could kill these guys, but we're not doing it. We got to become killers, man, because nobody, like, these scrubs, when they beat us, they dancing and all this goofiness. Nah, we got to kill these guys, man. We got to kill them. Like, they got to put respect on it because we got the players. Like, hands down, if you look at the ACC, who the better team? It's us. It's us. You got Ruben Bain, Mesador. You got all these guys, name brand guys. And you still dropping games like this? No, that game shouldn't even been in the overtime. You got to fix this. You got to kill these scrolls. That's why I was saying in the offseason, step on the roach. You got to step on the roaches. And every track game you lose, that's not good at all.
Primetime Rambo, appreciate your support. So get a real OC, not this G5 level hack. I mean, I don't think this is like last year, where last year we had a clear issue where you said, okay, this defensive philosophy, this defensive just coordinator is just not going to work. And then we don't have personnel in the back end. We got the personnel in the back end. We got the coordinator. Dawson, I mean, he just had the #1 offense in the country last year. Again, I know Cam Ward had a lot to do with that, but Cam Ward was 50th offense before he came. So you got to give him some props for that. But I'm more of, can we tweak with the guys that we have, as opposed, and say tweak might be too light a word, but you don't have to fire everybody. I don't think.
No.
If you were to say fire Mario, that's not going to happen this year. So it's not even worth talking about. So I don't think it's like a situation with Dawson. You tell me, where it's like Guidry or Enos or.
I don't even think Dawson is a bad OC. It's more so of like, you just gotta be killers. Like, I'm sorry, you got to run the scoreboard up. It is what it is. You got to do that, because if you don't, people feel like they can stay in games and win. No, we got to kill people. It is what it is. You must handle it. You got to be cutthroat, because this can happen. Like he said, players have to execute. Right. But that's what I'm saying. You got to keep being aggressive. You can't be doing this 3 yards in the cloud of dust stuff. It just ain't going to work. Trying to control clock and your team is not disciplined. If we had Michigan type discipline when they won the Natty, I'm all for that type of offense. But we don't got that. So we must put points on the board. We must be explosive. We got to use our advantage. We must use our advantage. I feel we got explosive players, like the guys that you were naming. They can be used. This offense, you know what I'm saying? Now, I will say, the only wart with Dawson is he ain't as creative, right? But, hey, them plays when we was putting up crazy points on teams, them plays still work. And I ain't seen them this year. That was another thing.
So let's get this thing refocused here, because I know we're struggling, and I've been in that same boat, as far as like looking back and like just suffering from this 150. But I want to look forward. And hold on, this is a comment about South Florida. That's actually not what I was clicking, but interesting comment. I think Malachi Tony's a freshman All-America, so I'm not trying to, you want to be like him. I mean, he got treated pretty good. I don't think it's a South Florida holding back when you have Malachi Tony as the best freshman in the country, but that's my opinion. But this is the one I want to get to. Pikes Pete saying 4-game season, 2 at home, 2 on the road. Your boy Fran Brown coming up. I know this is a big one for you, 50. 2 at home, 2 on the road. Unlock the potential. Sooner or later the season could still go good. Get the train back on tracks. I think, look, I'm crazy for all these games. So these are all important to me. I know some people are kind of like, oh, whatever. But how do you look at the rest of this particular season, including your boy Fran Brown right up top?
Man, how I look at it, you got to establish the season. You must win out, like hands down. You know what I'm saying? And it's still you, like, as crazy as it sounds, you still got a lot to play for because you got to win games. It can't be, oh, you know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, yeah, this season's a flop. You don't make the playoffs. Hands down, it is. But if you win 10 games, back-to-back 10-win seasons, that is an improvement. You know what I'm saying? But you got to get there. You got to handle it. And it ain't going to be easy because you got, 2 road games, Virginia Tech and Pitt. Then you got NC State, CJ Bailey coming home. So you got to step on this Roach and Fran Brown because the man team is ass. Like, yeah, it's garbage. He got to walk on quarterback. Oh, man, they in hell. So you got to handle up on them. But now, you know what I'm saying? You got to, you know what I'm saying? You got to handle NC State. They beat a team that's going to probably be in the ACC champ game in Virginia. You know what I'm saying? So there's no slouches. And they just beat, Georgia Tech. So you got to handle up. Like, you're going to have games. You could fix things, but you got to start now. You must lock in. We got to be more disciplined. We got to, get to the explosive plays. Don't be scared to hey, I get it. He threw 4 picks, but don't be scared. Still let it fly. If we going to die, let's die swinging.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. And I think especially when you talk about these games coming up, you look at Syracuse. Yeah, that's one you got to get right on.
Yeah.
NC State scaring me big time, especially seeing CJ Bailey kind of getting hot, doing what he's doing. It's funny whenever I talk about these guys. Like I was talking to my boy Mendoza. Everybody's like, "Oh, you just like him because he's Cuban from Miami." Then with CJ Bailey, it's like, "Oh, you just like him because he's a Miami guy."
Hey.
These are dudes, man. These are guys we got to deal with. And with CJ Bailey, he's one that scares me in this game. And I don't want to look too far ahead. I know we're 27.5 point favorites against Syracuse. Obviously, that's one you got to have for a million reasons. But man, the NC State game scares me a little bit. They're not more than a little bit. They're scoring a lot of points. Their defense is weak, but they score. And we know that our offense is having trouble keeping up with these offensive teams. And CJ Bailey, man, he looked really, really good against Georgia Tech. He was making some plays.
And we chose Judd Anderson over that. Like, that's crazy to me. But that's just a whole nother story. And like letting Mendoza go to Indiana, that's an L too. It was just I wanted, you know what I'm saying? I wanted Mendoza, you know what I'm saying? But you know how our fan base is. They were gonna say, "Oh, Cuban." Like, come on, man. He can play.
50, I didn't even know you were Cuban. That's news. That's news to me.
Hey, nah. I wish I was Cuban.
Hey, listen, if you don't have to be Cuban, 50 to go to East Las Canarias Cuban Express, you can hit it up with me next time you come down to Miami to watch some of these games. Make that trip down south. We'll go to East Las Canarias Cuban Express right there in the Dayland Mall Dining Pavilion. 7 different types of croquetas. You got the pan con lechon, little pork sandwich right there. You got all kinds of bread, sandwiches, cubaritos to grab and go. You got empanadas, little like pastry deals, bowls. You got all the kind of juices, desserts, flan. You ever had flan? Any ever had flan?
What's that? Ever flan? Never had that.
It's like custard. It's like a nice little custard dessert, man. That's a good one. You're definitely hitting that one up when we go out there. This is on me at East Las Canarias Cuban Express, right there in the Dayland Mall Dining Pavilion, #1 Cuban restaurant on the planet. All right, so 50. I'm gonna kick it to you here. You're a host of Category 6. You're on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, right?
All right, 6 p.m. Yeah.
Plus the spaces.
Right.
You're everywhere. You're one of the faces of the community of Canes fans, and like you talked about the philosophical changes, right? And how that you said you got to adapt or die, right?
Yeah.
What are some other big picture kind of things or small picture? Could be a player, could be a play, could be anything. Like what's on your mind? Because I know you got a lot on your mind. You've been sitting on this loss here.
Well, that discipline been bothering me for the longest. It don't matter the coach. It don't matter who it is. And that's another thing. I'm going to go back to it. Like the days of the old, they put laws in now. So you can't be a cowboy no more. It's over. So now you got to get with the times. that undisciplined football, we're going to continue to lose. We're going to continue to lose. They ready to cheat you. They ready to. So, yes, that got to get fixed.
Yeah, I really wonder what it is, because I know this team practices hard. Like, one thing about this team, you say what you want, it's not a country club environment at practice. Right. I know that because I've seen it. I've seen other practices that we've had. I've seen between Coker, Shannon, Golden, Rick, Diaz. So I've seen a lot of different types of practices. This is on the harder end of practices, if not the hardest of all those coaches. Maybe Butch is the last one. Just from a physicality of practice, the intensity, the way, the pace, and all that kind of stuff. But the reality is, you go back to Oregon, this is one of the most penalized teams in the country. You go to Miami, since he's been here, it's been one of those penalized teams in the country. And I've been talking to people, someone I know who's a coach or on a staff at another team. He's like, look, you don't want to look just at pure penalties, because some penalties, like if you play a lot of man-to-man, you're going to get PIs and stuff like that. But he goes, pre-snap, post-snap, that's when you kind of know discipline being an issue. And you look at this game post-snap with Marquise Lightfoot, questionable call. I get it, but it happened, and it was a backbreaker. Pre-snap, we don't got to go over the list. I mean, it's a million things, and it's a consistent deal. I mean, like, how do we even say fix this when there's been a problem consistently over a long period of time?
You got to, though, because they telling you. It's telling you. We keep losing games because of this. Like, we don't lost plenty of games because of this. Don't get me wrong. It's getting more highlighted because we actually, looking even more better than before. So when we play these teams that got something to prove, because they looking at it like, this is my shot to go to the league. It's Miami. You got to tighten up, because we play more discipline. We run away with this game. Hands down, you run away with it. So it got to get fixed, man. I don't know if you got to do what Pat Riley and the Miami Heat do, bring military people and get military style. I don't know. Maybe you do. But it got to get fixed. All this must get fixed, because I don't want this to happen. I just don't. I want you to succeed.
You look at penalties per game, right? So let's just start at the bottom, which is where we're at right here. Miami, 134th in penalties per game, 8.6.
Mm-hmm.
Now you had 6 in the loss in the win against Notre Dame, 6 in the win against Florida. So when you're even operating at an average level, those have been some of your better performances. And so, look, Texas A&M has a lot of penalties. Not every team has a lot of penalties is totally undisciplined or unsuccessful. But man, look at these teams at the top. You look at Iowa, Army, Minnesota, Penn State, Northwestern, Indiana, Wisconsin, right here, Ohio State, number 1 team in the country, Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to play that style of play, Oregon's not that far off. Georgia Tech, if you're going to play that style of play where you're living by the down and distance, stick to stick, you got to control the penalties, because these teams, they successfully play that style. Obviously, you want to be more explosive than Iowa. I'm not saying we want to be Iowa in that offense. Yeah. But I'm saying if you're going to play, like, if that's going to be generally your identity, you got to avoid these penalties, or else you kind of got the worst of both worlds. You're playing for the sticks, but you're not winning that battle because of penalties.
Yep. And you must clean that up. That's why I'm like, hey, man, philosophy change. You got to be disciplined. Like right now, we're undisciplined. Got to become disciplined. You know what I'm saying? And then you win more games, like hands down, because look at this defense. If we had that offense that we had with Cam Ward with this defense, we're getting ring fitted.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just like you show you can have the explosive offense. Now you got to match the two. Get the explosive offense with this good defense, and let's make something happen. Like right now you got to lock in and salvage the season. You got to fix this right now. Like we got to step on the roach and Fran Brown. We got to finish the season strong. You know what I'm saying?
This is a good point from 220 Greenwich. When does Mario shoot out a guy or the whole offensive line on the sidelines? And look, I'm not saying you got to be performing, putting on a show for the cameras like your boyfriend, just doing all that stuff for the cameras. But you see the big time coaches that get paid the most, that win the most.
Mm-hmm.
And when you see these kind of constant mistakes, watching a Kirby Smart, watching a Nick Saban when he was rolling, that players are getting chewed out for these kind of unforced errors.
Yeah.
Visibly, not for show. You're seeing refs getting chewed out when they make these calls. And I've said, look, the refs are not the reason we lost, in my opinion, because when you always are getting penalized, and you're always kind of putting yourself in bad positions, it's going to go against you at times. But certainly there were some terrible calls. So like, I'm hesitant to be like, hey, chew this guy out, put on a show. But it is kind of noticeable. I don't know if you're seeing the same thing.
I see.
You see other guys doing it that get paid a lot of money and win a lot of games, and we're not seeing it as much when our guys make mistakes.
Yeah, we saw it one time and against Cam Kitchens and never before. Yeah, we got to get back to that. You got to get on these players. That old line, they moving like they Teflon. Like no, they got to get something said to. Like things must change. Like I said, it got to change. It got to get fixed, man. It must get fixed.
Tyler Cannon saying, can we be real for a second? Even with these penalties, we're 10 times more disciplined and the culture is better than previous regimes. Mario needs to stay is the best we've had in a decade. I don't think what you're saying is necessarily wrong. I don't think it's necessarily right. What I'm saying is you got 4 games right now. You just took a potentially crippling loss to your goals this season.
Yeah.
If we're going to see the culture and we're going to see all that change from the past, the November swoon is one tough loss as opposed to a tough loss that leads to 3 losses. Right? We have seen this so many times the past 20 years that if you ask me to bet right now, and I'm the most optimistic guy in the world, and I picked 10-2 before the season, so I'd love for that prediction to be true, at least at this point. We already got the 2 losses. If I'm betting, I bet we don't go 4-0 just because even though we're better than all those teams, we typically crumble at this time. And that's just the reality of the deal. And our trajectory is not the right direction. So this to me is a big test of the culture. If you can get through this stretch 4-0, it's not the goal, but it would be telling one way or the other how this thing goes.
Yes. You definitely should want to finish strong. I think back to Rick finishing strong in 2016.
Yep.
That was a good sign. Then 2017 happened. You definitely want to finish strong. But you just got to start stacking them games. You got to start with Fran Brown and his goofy ass. Like, you got to step on him. You know what I'm saying? Because, I wouldn't be shocked at 8-4. So that's why I said he just got to fix it, man. Because, like, you can see it. Like, if we stay undisciplined, we will be 8-4. But you fix the discipline part, you start, you know what I'm saying? Now you starting to look like what you want it to be. But this got to get fixed. Like, I'm sorry. This can't go on no more. We got to get with the times. We got to be one of the disciplined teams. Like, I ain't saying we got to be just outright, just, you know what I'm saying? Like you said.
Army, yeah.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is because it's like, it's happening too many times. It has happened too many times. Yeah.
No doubt. And I'll tell you who you talk like need to get fixed. If you need to get fixed, you got an injury, you're not feeling too good. Health Sports, the University of Miami Sports Medicine Institute. If you consider yourself an athlete, just an active guy, you know how hard it is to sit on the sideline with pain, with injury. Maybe you try to come back early, hurt yourself again, or not been 100%. But if compromising your movement or performance is not an option, call the experts at the University of Miami Sports Medicine Institute. Whether it's elite competition with the University of Miami Athletics or just everyday movement, the University of Miami Sports Medicine Institute is the trusted choice for those who demand excellence. Set an appointment today at uhealthsports.com. So, wait, EJ's saying Deep Money's not going to be allowed in the building today. I mean, listen, there's history was going in. If I was worried about, what 50 said or what Street said or myself saying something that's critical, I wouldn't be bringing everybody on. Like, we are here to tell the truth now. Am I going to be out there ripping players and ripping coaches and kind of venting my frustrations like that? No, but we got a forum for that. You got the chat for that. You got CanesInSight.com, 7.6 million posts and counting. You got the spaces and you get let loose in there all the time. So, we have forums for that, but we're going to say what it is as far as what's not working. And I think the truth is, man, these guys are not as sensitive as people think. They know the deal. Like they know that they need to get better. They're not like these guys are much more business like than guys we've had in the past. I will say that. That doesn't mean it's going to guarantee success. Doesn't mean we're going to finish 4-0. Doesn't mean we're going to accomplish our goals or achieve our talent. That's all, not saying that. But they're not as sensitive as people think. They really aren't. That's like my experience. That would not be my criticism of them. They never told me to say anything as far as like, don't say that is too negative. I never heard that in my life. El Rico, appreciate your support. He says, we are undisciplined and horrible coach management. Why are you calling timeout on 4th and 9 while on defense? It caused the light foot penalty. I'm still pissed about that.
I'm right there with you, man, because that didn't make no sense.
Well, you said that right off top.
Yeah, like it just you got like, bro, because we got we got killers in that defense. So you know what I'm saying? We aggressive. You know what I'm saying? So when that happened, you call a timeout. It was like, huh? No, let them hunt. Don't. And that's another thing. We can't be saving people. We just can't save them. Like I said, man, it gotta get fixed. I mean, we could talk about this, then the third. It just, hey man, you gotta fix it. Cause now it's a huge problem. It's a huge problem.
I gotta ask you now about your boy Fran, because you are one of, to me, the foremost Fran haters on the planet. I know Suave did the freestyle. I got a little shout out from Mr. Brown. I don't know if that lessened his, like, if it softened him to Fran or not. I got to ask him, but you right there, you hate this dude. So or I'll say, I'm gonna put words in your mouth. You got issues with this dude. Right. So what is it about Fran Brown that gets under your skin?
Nah, it was just how he popped it after, you know what I'm saying, another tough L. You know what I'm saying? Cause it was just like we was up 21-0 and he out here shouting out Dabo, like, dude, what you doing? So it was more so of, okay, you made an enemy out of me. We're gonna get that get back. And it's time for that get back. I'm ready to, I need to see belt. I'm sorry. Still ain't forgave him. Cause at the end of the day, we were supposed to be in that ACC champ game. He got enjoyment out of killing it. So I'm gonna get enjoyment by giving him that belt. I don't care how trash his team is. I won't. I want the like how Michael Irvin was, you know what I'm saying, swinging that belt. Yeah, that's what we need to do. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we got to handle that. No, did too much talking, and you ain't even like that, pal. But that's a whole nother story.
Yeah, I don't know what this team, where it's going with Syracuse. They're 3-6. I think if they had Angeli, probably talking a little different. I mean, that was a great pickup for him. I loved it at the time. Now that's my guy. I thought Notre Dame should have kept him until I saw CJ Carr. Then I'm like, all right, well, now I know why they didn't keep him. But he's a good player. Certainly, they're going to miss him. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this team doesn't got a lot going for them. Just you look at their stretch here since Angeli went down, and you're talking about lost to Duke 38-3. Lost to SMU 31-18, lost to Pitt 30-13, lost to Georgia Tech 41-16, and this is the worst one. Lost to Bill Belichick on Halloween 27-10. So this you got to get right on this team, like you said, BTA. And what I'm looking for here is let's let it rip, right? You can't if you're about conservative, this and that. There's no way you're playing conservative against a Syracuse team that has lost 5 in a row. So this is a team that you have to let it rip. You're going to see JoJo Trader a lot. You're going to see Josh Moore a lot. You have to see what those guys can do. Might get a drop in interception like you had with JoJo, right? You might get the wrong route. There's going to be mistakes, but this is not, to me, a game where you just play to win. Like, you have to get some good energy going. You got to get some momentum. You've got to get the explosive plays going. So that when I'm thinking about this game, you saying BTA, which I'm with. My three words there would be just let it rip. You just got to let it rip, man, and see what happens. I think you'll be successful more often than not with the way you pass protect and the opponent you're going against. Right.
Yes, that's exactly. You got to let it rip. That's what we got to do. Don't be scared. Because I don't want what Milan just said, Mario Cristobal equals run Zook. I don't want that. Let it rip. Do your thing. Hands down. Like, man.
We got a lot of those 3-word slogans going right now. You got adapt or die, right? BTA, let it rip,
Yeah.
do your thing. You know, we got the slogans there, man. Now it's just about seeing the squad. Let me ask you this: where are you at with Carson Beck? Because I thought Beck played pretty well, honestly.
Yeah, he did.
You know,
We shouldn't have been in overtime, hands down. Like where I'm at with Beck, he is what he is. Like we saw it. You know what I'm saying? He a game manager. So and it's like that's another thing. We ain't really like his strength is to play action, and you know, teams been taking that away. But as far as him just throwing the ball, he's really not as bad. He's not good, but he's not bad. He just average. But it was like this could have been avoided if you would have got Mendoza. But hey, it is what it is. Because I wanted Mendoza. I ain't care. I knew it was gonna be some little flag. Uncle Luke could be somewhere. Oh, the Cuban. I don't care. Get that because I want to win. I didn't care about none of that.
and I would say I would put Beck. I wouldn't say he's average in college, man. I'd say he's a like in terms of put it this way. I'm glad he's not on Syracuse. You know what I mean? Like I'd say he's above average for college.
Yeah.
I think compared to Ward, obviously there's a step down from that. But I think the guy's a good player that is not being put in a position to really thrive as much as he's capable of. Now it's a lot of stuff's going right for him. His offensive line, pass protection wise, is excellent. So that to me, if you ask me what's like what I was some things I'm just surprised by, I'm surprised we're not throwing the ball better with this kind of protection. Because we got a lot. I mean, he's got all day to throw. Yeah, he's got all day to throw. I think he's got more time. I saw a stat. It's analytics. They're all different. But I think so. Some of the ones I've seen have him as the most time period in the country.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and it's like like that. That's a problem. But like I said, it just more so of it just that discipline. It just kills everything we trying to do. Because Beck is kind of made for, you know what I'm saying, that the offense that they were trying to run, but your team just not disciplined. So you just gotta, like you said, air it out, get more plays called, run more tempo. And that's another thing. You know what? We need to run more tempo. We definitely need to run more tempo because that's how you get easy yardage. Hands down.
Yeah, and you look at Beck, he's a quick operator, man. He likes to move quick. He likes to get rid of it quick. He likes to make quick decisions. I don't think he likes to do those back shoulders. That's one thing I thought we might see more of this year because you watched Beck on tape last year. He was doing a lot of back shoulders to guys that weren't even that good. That's one thing I thought he was going to do more of. It's not his fault. I thought, but that's one thing I just don't see as much is just those kind of quick timing routes that I think is good at. And he hasn't been doing that as much here at the University of. I mean, like Cam Ward is not going to be a timing route kind of guy. He can do it, but he's going to hold. He's going to make the play. Beck, I think, on time, tempo, boom, boom, boom. That's really where he thrives the most. And we haven't seen a ton of that.
Right, we haven't. So yeah, we definitely need to get back to playing faster.
Who are some guys you want to see as we get into this this stretch here? Just more of like who's somebody you're like, man, we got 4 games left. Obviously, we got to win these. This is not time to just have fun, right? There's not Bethune. You got to win these games. But who do you want to see as we get down here?
Like more JoJo, more Josh Moore, Dante Simpson. I say Popo more. I need to see more of him. More Fitzgerald. Like I like. Oh, exactly. Pruitt. I want to see him. Like there's more of that. I want to see Kellen Wiley Jr., not the Pops.
Shout out to Pops.
With Pops. But yeah, I want to see I just want to see more guys, but like not necessarily like them start. I just want to see them more. But like Dante Simpson, I want to see more of that. I like Scott, I want to see what he got. Bobby Pruitt, definitely. Like we need that aggression. I want to see more Marty Brown, which I think we will see. Hey, I just feel like we just got to get all around just better. And
Are you trying to lose Lyle? Like, not lose Lyle's the wrong word. Are you trying to like seeing Lyle getting more snaps? You mentioned Marty Brown more. Oh yeah,
mhm.
you just appeared into the skyline right there. You went to the club for a second.
Yeah, that was my fault there.
No, you're good. So Lyle, a lot of talk about Lyle. He has not gotten going for a million reasons.
Yeah.
Do you want to see more of Lyle? I know we talked to Street yesterday. He was saying you got to just give this guy more opportunities, and then he will go from there. Or I've heard other people say he's gotten opportunities, he has not produced. Go to what works with Marty Brown. Kind of where are you at? I'm assuming Fletcher keeps rolling.
What works because Marty Brown fit what you're doing. Like he brought that when you was punching and all that. Like he brought that because he was that type of running back. And out the backfield, he can catch it. Like he's low key pretty good catching out the backfield and all that. So it's more so not saying loud because definitely loud. Like I don't know what's up with Fletcher. I saw him get injured. I don't know how serious it was, but like yeah, you definitely gonna need loud, but you also need more Marty. I don't know what was going on with that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, definitely need more Marty. I will say this: we definitely miss Martinez, don't we?
Yeah, it's crazy to me that he's not on a roster at all. He's not even on a practice squad.
Yeah, he should have stayed, man. That would have been nice. That would have been, oh, man. Hey, D Buddy, we would have been good. We probably would have had better play action. You know what I'm saying? Because his vision was just up there. That's one thing I will say with our running backs. As talented as they are, their vision ain't on that level. It just ain't.
No,
But,
there's been times where I think talking to people. I don't know if this was because this was about a running back, if this was about a receiver on a screen, but from what I'm told, maybe look, and I don't know this to be true, right? Maybe they're feeding me lies, but I'm told the fight between Cristobal and Dawson was not really between Cristobal and Dawson. It was more Dawson venting about either a running back or maybe a receiver on a screen, but I think a running back just not hitting the right hole. And they see his kind of motion. That's kind of what he was saying. Like, hey, got to go north-south here, cut it up here. I don't know again, who knows, except for the people that were there.
yeah.
But that's what I've heard. Yeah, I think Marty, KC saying Marty's run on 4th and 1 was one of the worst I've seen. I like Marty, but he's averaging under 4 yards a carry, so he could do a better job too. And I love Marty, but he could do a better. Really, the only person who is really performing, I think, in the running game right now is Mark Fletcher, as far as at the level that you want it to be,
Right.
which is what was the average? 5.3 something yards per carry. That's a strong number, and he's doing that with a lot of loaded boxes and not necessarily getting the best opportunities. 5.1 he's at. I think it's after this last game, 9 touchdowns, 636 yards. So Fletcher, I think, is one of those guys, man. Once you get him over that 20-yard threshold, he'll get you 100 yards, and the other team will be hurting. But other than that, man, it's been inconsistent with the backs.
Yeah. And Fletcher just one of them backs that you just got to continue to feed. You know what I'm saying? Because Fletcher is Fletcher. I love Fletcher. You know what I'm saying? But I would just say I want to see more Marty just off the strength of it. That was work. Like, bam, you get Fletcher, then Marty come in and just like continue just to force you to tackle big bodies. You know what I'm saying? Jordan Lau, he's a big dude. He got speed, but it was just more so that was working. Like, hey, I hate that it took injury for us to see it, but hey, when it was Fletcher and Marty, that was a better duo for our offense. It worked.
Bucks of Plenty asking, D, why are you so biased? Biased to Fletcher? I mean, I don't think I'm biased to Fletcher. I mean, I love Fletcher, but I like all these guys. I want them all to succeed. I would say the reason I'm saying Fletcher is, I mean, look at these stats right here. He's averaging 5.1 a pop. So that puts him to me in another category for some of these dudes. Another guy I would like to see a little more of is Gerard Pringle. I'd like to see Pringle. You're not going to use him 20 carries a game.
Nah.
But I'd like to see him get more opportunities to get the ball in his hands with an opportunity to make an explosive play, because he can do it.
Yeah. Hands down, he can't do it. I know why. Like, I get that you got to, like, if you don't block, you don't get the rock. I get that. But you got an explosive player in Pringle, and I feel he definitely should see like that. And one thing I've seen every time Pringle play, his vision is pretty on point. He got pretty good vision. I will get on that. He got real good vision. Like once he adds some weight and be able to have protection, he definitely gonna be a problem in the ACC. Definitely.
Kevin Dennis says, I think we should have a Wildcat package as well. Maybe I guess Tony would be that. You don't want to get hurt. One thing I would say is, and I supported the Beck pickup. I think Beck is not the problem at all. I think Beck is a really good college quarterback, is going to have a chance to play in the pros. But I would say one thing that we do kind of miss is when you talk about a read option kind of deal, there really is no keeper threat with the Beck. So again, I'm happy with Beck. I think he's not the problem, in my opinion, at least not to this point.
Yeah.
But next year, as we go back into the portal, presumably, I think if you added a guy that can keep the ball, I think those running games are going to look a lot more dynamic. You look at pulling up. Go ahead.
CJ Bailey.
You said it, man. And not just him. Lenore Sellers could be available. There could be other guys too. But yeah, that would be.
I don't want him, money.
You don't like Sellers?
No, I don't want him. He's sold. Sellers selling.
Sellers selling.
He's garbo. I see CJ Bailey. I see a quarterback can throw and run. You got to give it to the kid. He shocked me. He surprised me. I just thought he was a Jeremiah and JoJo Merchant. Nah, he's like that. Even though I still wanted him over Judd, though.
Yeah. I think one thing that if you ask me a lesson that we're learning, by the way, I'm just pulling up here just so you can see this. I'm pulling up the yards per carry. Remember, we're 83rd or something in the stat right now, which is way low historically for Mario and Miami.
Yeah.
I'm going to 2021. This is Mario's last year at Oregon. You look at number 8 in the nation in yards per carry. This was the year they had Anthony Brown. Remember him?
Yeah.
And he wasn't like, we're not talking about Vince Young, Tim Tebow runner, but this guy could run a little bit. And you look at a 5.3 yards a carry, number 8 in the country. And they didn't even have any running backs get drafted that year. I don't believe. Right. I don't think any of their backs that year made the pros.
I forgot who they had.
Yeah, it was not a pro dude. Yeah. So that dynamic where you have in this exact running game, when you have a quarterback that can keep, I think is going to add to it if that is how the direction we go next year. Obviously, it doesn't really apply to this year, but just something to put a pin in. Just real quick talking about CJ.
Mm-hmm.
I think one thing I'm learning seeing CJ, seeing Mendoza, and I've seen him since they were in high school.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes these tall guys, come out like 6'5". You gotta, if they have things you like, if you say, I like their arm strength, I like their intangibles, right? I like some of the things they do. They have potential to get more athletic. I like the way they hair themselves. If there's something you like about one of these tall dudes, I'm talking about 6'4" and above, actually those extra level tall guys.
Right.
They tend to improve if the intangibles are on point and they're working, because how many times just growing up playing sports and you see the guy that's like a goofy tall dude and you're like, look at this. It's like a baby giraffe stumbling around. And then by the time you're in high school, that guy's getting offers because it all kind of coordinates. I think with Mendoza and with Bailey, watch them as seniors in high school or juniors in high school and watch them now. And the trajectory is crazy, even more so than maybe other quarterbacks, because they coordinate a little bit. They get more athletic. They get stronger, right? A lot of guys are tall and skinny. They get stronger, sturdier. Their balance gets better. Their technique gets better. And then, boom, you're talking about a whole different player as you get down the road.
Right.
So that's just something, I don't know, just trying to learn from these guys who made it, who we did not get as Miami Hurricanes, even though they were local. And what do we miss? And look, Judd's a tall guy too, but both are guys that were productive passers in high school.
And both those guys, and that another thing, Mendoza and CJ Bailey, when you watch them, they are smart guys. We need more high IQ football players, hands down. Like CJ Bailey, all that. Like I will give you your credit with this, because you said when it comes to like South Florida quarterbacks, and you see when they are legit, always bet on them, and that there they are. CJ Bailey and Mendoza, who else? Lamar Jackson, Teddy Bridgewater.
Yeah, Jacoby Brissett, Geno Smith.
Yeah, Geno Smith. Like when
Tyler Huntley, even. I mean, he's still starting games.
Yep, that's what I'm saying. So it's like you got to get those guys. You got,
and none of those guys were like. I mean, Dia Bell this year is a 5-star, but you go back to all those guys. Even Bridgewater, he was a big recruit, but he went to Louisville. You know, it wasn't like he was like he wasn't even a top 100 player, if I recall. So, you know, these guys are gettable type of dudes out of high school.
Like on one at the West, what's his name? Lawrence.
Yeah, Neiman. Yeah. Jordan Travis also a South Florida quarterback too.
Yeah,
from Palm Beach.
Yep.
So yeah, no, what we're talking about high school. That's something to keep in mind. My guy Kevin Dennis says he's drinking BUZZN. My boy, appreciate you. I got to get you a case 50. Next time you come to Miami, hit me up. We'll go to East Los, and I'll get you a case of BUZZN right here. First order, use code FIRST50 for 50% off. That's BUZZN. Drink BUZZN. All hang, no hangover. All bubbles, no troubles. 7.5 milligrams of THC, lab tested. All legal. You get this. I'll get it online at drinkbuzzn.com. You can get it in stores in South Florida. Big Daddy's Liquors, they got the BUZZN, BUZZN. So they'll take care of you here at BUZZN. And it's a good thing I wasn't drinking. You know, back in the day when I was still drinking, those hangovers after a loss like that would have been rough. Would have been rough waking up the next day working out or trying to be a kid's sports or whatever. So BUZZN's definitely got these hangovers going a little better. That's for sure.
Right. I need one. I need to try that.
Well, it's all yours when you come back down. We'll break bread here. A lot of talk about portal versus high school players. I know we've talked about it on your show. Where are you at as far as just portal quarterback for next year?
Oh man, well, I know I say my number one is JKS, but CJ Bailey, I've been liking what I've been seeing from him, so he might be number one. I can't even lie. I just like it, and like the proof is in the pudding. I see Mendoza, I see CJ Bailey, South Florida quarterbacks. When they like that, they are like that. So it's hard to go against that. And if he hop in that portal, he's going to get paid. Get paid. Yeah.
Hopefully we don't make his price higher when we play him. Hopefully we bring his price down a little bit.
Yeah, hopefully we bring the price down, but I ain't gonna lie. Like long as I like us against them, but it's gonna be a tough game, hands down. It's gonna be a tough game. Definitely if we don't if we stay undisciplined, we're losing. But like it's definitely gonna be a tough game because our defense is they like that. But hands down, I've seen it. Heatherman is a defensive head coach disguised as a DC. I see it with him. Like we probably got one more year with him.
Yeah, let's look at the stats here. So scoring defense, and let's just look at the teams that are ahead of us in terms of Power 5 or Power 4. Ohio State, Indiana, Oregon. Iowa's always in this mix, man. Texas Tech and Utah, who they're battling at the top of the Big 12. Oklahoma, Texas, Michigan, and then boom, right there, Miami. So this defense is doing its thing. I think rush defense. Let me check the yards per rush, opponent's yards per rush against. It feels like this is, there it is. 2.6, number 7 in the nation. Overall yards per play. Where are we at on that one? 13. So, I mean, really let's look at the passing defense. Remember the passing defense last year, how tough that was. One of the worst we've ever seen. They are at 18th in the nation. So really up and down. You look at this defense, any stat you look at, this is one of the better defenses in America, Power 4 and period.
Yeah, hands down. And that's why I'm like, it's one of those. That's why I want everything to get fixed, D-Money, because I see we got things. We always have like special coaches and stuff like that, but we just can never get the right mixture. This the chance to do it. And we got to do it. We just got to do it, D-Money. But hey, D-Money, I appreciate you for bringing me on this show, man. I really do, brother.
No, man, I appreciate you for having me, or I appreciate you for coming on. I would love for you I'd love to get on your show. You tell me when. I'm on. I always love doing that. It's always a fun one. I like being the guest, man. I always get to kick back. Your audience is awesome. The Chasers. Shout out to all the Chasers out there. And then obviously the Spaces. That's the one that that's like my talk radio when I'm just driving around, man. That's hop on a burner and just hear people get after it, man. So shout out to everything you're doing, guys. Check out Category 6. Check out everything that 50's doing. Tell them where they can find you on Twitter, because I know Twitter, you're making moves there too, always.
Yeah, at Freddie Kane 91. That's me. They follow me on Twitter, and also join category6playbook.com where you get the all 22 merch, plenty more. Just come rock out with us, because on Category 6 Sports, we call it the 50 show because it's basically my show. So yeah, and it's Monday, Wednesdays, Friday at 6 p.m. Go hang out. We're gonna talk football. It's gonna be honest. There's a bunch of ball noise over there, so you can't even fake the funk. So yeah, just come rock out.
All right, I'm not calling it Category 6 anymore. We're calling it the 50 show because it is the 50 show. You see his thumbnail right at the top. You didn't have the little 50 hanging around this time. I like when you got the little 50 logo right there. But hey, man, appreciate you always joining us. We'll get together soon, and appreciate you. Let's beat your boy. 27 points. Let's cover that one.
Man, I hope we beat him by 50, man.
There it is. Let's get 50 for 50. Appreciate you, man. Be good.
I appreciate you.
All right, man. So listen, we're trying to pick up the vibes a little bit. I know people are saying we're a little depressed, but it was worse this weekend, right? We're trying to pick it up. I love having 50 on, man. He's just a great guest, knows a ton, got a great show to check out, and on the spaces he runs a show, among others. That's a whole collection and conglomerate out there. So yeah, let's see what the comments are saying. Dan Maludi says, Miami running backs have no vision and no burst. The hole can be there, and by the time they get there, it's closed. They are slow, need game changers. I think Pringle brings you some of that, but we got to see what he can do. Ryan Davini says, Mario needs to use connections in the offseason, pay a consultation fee to Nick Saban to come in, watch some spring practice, and give some advice how to fix these ongoing issues, penalties. I think that's crazy. I don't know exactly how it works, if it's just getting paid or if it's just calling him up, because, I think Saban saw us practice during game day, I think. I'm not sure on that, but he's watched our film. He's tuned into college football probably more than he's ever been, because he watches everybody as opposed to, just worry about Alabama and the teams Alabama's playing. So we'll see what he might say. He's liked this team in the past. He had us as one of the top teams, if not the top team early on, but the reality is we're not that team right now. And that's not the way we're progressing, and worse, the penalties being the biggest issue. Back enough says we can't score 21. We aren't beating anybody by 50. Yeah, listen, this would be a good day to get that thing going. It's not impossible. You saw it against USF, a pretty explosive offense. They didn't beat it by 50, but we looked pretty good. So let's see how that one goes. John Z saying RIP to recruiting momentum. I think we're still going to recruit pretty good. We got some good guys in the boat, man. So I wouldn't sleep on the recruiting, but we got to see how that one finishes. Let's see. Steve Roberts saying Mario's going to play down to everybody. Good chance to change that narrative this week, because 27-point favorite. Covered against Stanford, but wasn't a consistent four-quarter performance. I don't think we've had a four-quarter performance aside from maybe USF. So we'll see. We'll see how this thing goes. I'll tell you this, though. We're trying to get some wins, right? We're trying to get 4 wins. If you're trying to get a triple win, the rare triple win, place to do that is KashKick. That's KashKick with the Play It Forward program. That's KashKick, KashKick. Download that app in the App Store, KashKick, KashKick. One of the top apps in the country, 4.5 plus average rating, 1.5 million plus downloads. You get all your games together on one app. So whether you like puzzles, whether you like adventure games, whether you like sports, whatever it is, whatever app games you like to play on your phone while you're trying to kill some time, KashKick will consolidate them so you can have your games ready to rock. Then as you play, advertisers through KashKick will pay money. It's all legit. Goes connects to your PayPal, Google, Facebook, whatever, however you want to connect to this program. You get money, not income, not like quit your job money, but real money to play games. That's simple. No strings attached. And the third part of this with Play It Forward campaign is whatever money you get paid, Play It Forward will make an equivalent donation to the American Cancer Society. So you get money, American Cancer Society gets money, and you get to play some fun games, which you're going to do anyways when you're bored on your phone. So KashKick, KashKick at the App Store. Lorraine, let's go. Bringing it back. I appreciate you. New week, adjust, discipline, and win. It is a new week. No one knows how it's going to go. We have concerns based on history and what we've seen this season, but Nobody knows how it's going to go on Saturday. No one knows we're going to win on Saturday, even though we're a huge favorite. So can we get it done and make this thing go in a different direction? I'll be watching, as I'm sure all you guys will, and I'm fired up. There we go. Let's get the positivity flowing back. Tyler Love, Canes back in the win column this week. Absolutely. Rico says, no expectations for me this game. Just going to be observant on our game plan, adjustments, penalties, and game coaching. Just going to be observant, but we should get the W. EJ saying, too much doom and gloom in the forecast. I think we'll play well, man. I want to see, we talk so much about JoJo, and there's a reason. I mean, we just need that explosive element. I think he's going to have a big game. I think we're going to keep him rolling, and that's going to lead to some juice going into the end of the year. By the way, if you're going to be out there at the stadium, we'll be there at the Lickin' before the game. Get your gear, MiamiHTS.com, Hurricane Team Store, also located right across the street from the University of Miami. Get your stuff. Use promo code INSIGHT20 for 20% off. And how about this one right here? Basketball. You get the youth jersey, the adult jerseys. I will be out there for both games, women and men, over there at the Watsco, getting ready to watch some Canes hoops. I'm excited about it. I know a lot of people are excited about what Jay Lucas and Trish Cullip are building with the University of Miami basketball, men's and women. So support the team in person, but also get the gear. It's right across the street. If you're going to the game, all you got to do is stop right across the street. You can walk there. A Miami Hurricane Team Store right across the street from campus, from the Watsco Center, and use promo code INSIGHT20 for 20% off your first item. 1,200 plus on. Appreciate everybody joining us. Like and subscribe to the show. Go Canes.